Commander Jack Harris stood on the bridge of the UES horizon, his eyes fixed on the massive view screen. The Zrillion mothership approached slowly, its crystalline surface reflecting the light of the nearby star. Jack felt a knot in his stomach. Something was wrong about this whole situation, and he couldn't shake the feeling. "They're hailing us again, sir," Lieutenant Olivia Grant said from her communications station. Her fingers moved quickly across the glowing panel. "The Zrillion ambassador says we need to follow their escort to the council chambers right away." Jack ran a hand through his short brown hair. Earth had only been part of the galactic community for 3 years. They were still learning the complex politics between the older species, but what they had discovered in the past few weeks was troubling. "Tell them we're having engine problems," Jack replied. "We need more time." Olivia nodded and relayed the message. The large alien ship seemed to pause, hanging in space like a glittering diamond. "Do you think they suspect anything?" asked Chief Security Officer Paul Wilson as he joined Jack by the view screen. "Hard to say. The Zrillions are difficult to read," Jack said. "Did you finish analyzing those transmissions?" Paul handed him a data tablet. "Yes, sir. Our intelligence team is certain. The Zrillions and the Draxians are planning something big." Jack looked at the information. For centuries, the reptilian Draxians and the crystalline Zrillions had been bitter enemies. Their wars had shaped galactic politics. Now, suddenly, they wanted peace. It seemed too good to be true. Because it was. Earth's advanced AI systems had decoded hidden messages in the diplomatic exchanges. The so-called Galactic Peace Accord was actually a trap. Once signed, it would give both species legal access to all council worlds. Then they would strike together, conquering the younger races one by one. "Has Admiral Martinez received our report?" Jack asked. "Yes, sir. She's reviewing it now with the Earth Council," Paul replied. "We should hear back within the hour." The communications panel chimed. Olivia looked up with concern. "Sir, the Zrillions are sending over a shuttle. They say they're coming to help with our engine problems." Jack straightened his uniform. "Looks like we're out of time. Alert Dr. Kelly and Ambassador Clark. Tell them to bring all the evidence. We need to make our case directly to whoever will listen." 20 minutes later, Jack stood in the Horizon's main conference room as the airlock cycled open. 3 Zrillions glided into the room. They had no legs, moving instead on a cushion of electromagnetic energy. Their crystalline bodies sparkled under the ship's lights, and their 4 upper limbs moved with precise, almost mechanical motions. "Commander Harris," the tallest one said, its voice translator creating perfect English from the musical tones it naturally made. "I am Diplomatic Envoy Sharel. We are concerned about your delay." Jack nodded politely. "Thank you for your concern. Our chief engineer assures me we'll be underway shortly. In the meantime, can I offer you refreshment?" The Zrillion's faceted eyes seemed to study him closely. "No. The peace ceremony begins in 6 hours. All council members must be present. Earth's absence would be noted." Ambassador Ryan Clark stepped forward. He was older than Jack, with gray at his temples and the calm demeanor of a career diplomat. "Of course we understand the importance of the ceremony, Envoy Sharel. Earth fully supports peace between your people and the Draxians." Dr. Samantha Kelly stood quietly to the side. Jack knew she was recording everything, analyzing the Zrillions' micro-expressions and energy signatures for signs of deception. "We have prepared a small gift to mark the historic occasion," Ryan continued, lifting a crystal box from the table. "Earth wishes to honor the ancient traditions of both your cultures." The Zrillion reached for the box with one shimmering appendage. "Your gesture is appreciated, though unnecessary." Jack watched the exchange carefully. The mission briefing had explained that Zrillions valued gifts highly in their culture. For Sharel to dismiss it so quickly was another warning sign. "Sir," Olivia's voice came through Jack's earpiece, "Admiral Martinez is hailing us on the emergency channel." "If you'll excuse me," Jack said to the Zrillion envoy. "A matter requires my attention." In his private office, Jack activated the secure channel. Admiral Elena Martinez appeared on screen, her expression grave. "Commander, we've reviewed your intelligence. It's concerning but not conclusive. The Earth Council is divided. Jack frowned. Admiral, we're certain. The peace accord is a trap. I understand your conviction, Harris, but we're talking about accusing two founding members of the Galactic Council of conspiracy. If we're wrong, Earth could face serious consequences. And, if we're right but do nothing, every independent world could fall under their control. The Admiral sighed. Your orders are to proceed to Centauri Prime for the ceremony. Present your evidence to the full council, but be diplomatic. We need allies if we're going to challenge species as powerful as the Zrillians and Draxians. Jack nodded. Yes, Admiral. When he returned to the conference room, he found Ryan engaged in careful conversation with the Zrillian envoy. Samantha caught his eye and gave a small nod. She had detected something. Envoy Sherelle, Jack announced. Our engineers have resolved the issue. We'll follow your escort to Centauri Prime immediately. The Zrillian seemed to relax slightly. Excellent. The council awaits. After the aliens departed, Jack turned to Samantha. What did you find? She activated her data pad. Their energy signatures fluctuated when Ambassador Clark mentioned the Draxians. There's definitely something they're hiding. Also, I detected communication signals from their ship aimed at coordinates far from the peace ceremony location. Jack looked at the star map she displayed. That's near the Procyon system, isn't that? Yes, Ryan interrupted. That's where the Arkelian Republic has its main fleet base. They're one of the few species with military technology that could challenge a combined Zrillian-Draxian force. Jack's mind raced with the implications. They're assessing potential threats before they make their move. The council meeting is our only chance to warn everyone, Samantha said. But will they listen to us? Earth is still seen as the new kid on the block. Jack's expression hardened with determination. Then we'll need to make them listen. Ryan, prepare the strongest case you can with the evidence we have. Samantha, keep analyzing their communications for anything we can use. He walked to the view screen and watched as the horizon moved into formation with the Zrillian escort ships. Ahead lay Centauri Prime, and a peace ceremony that could change the fate of the galaxy. They think we're just naive newcomers, Jack said, quietly. They don't realize that humans have thousands of years of experience recognizing deception and preparing for war. If the Council won't believe our warnings, we'll have to show them the truth another way. He turned back to his team. Contact Captain White on the UES Shadow. Tell her to be ready to implement Phase 2 if necessary. The horizon accelerated toward Centauri Prime, where representatives from 24 species were gathering. None of them suspected that the peace they were about to celebrate was built on lies. None except the humans, who had seen this pattern too many times in their own bloody history to be fooled again. The Great Hall on Centauri Prime was enormous. Jack Harris had never seen anything like it. The ceiling rose at least 50 meters above them, made of some clear material that showed the 3 suns of the Centauri system. 2,000 delegates from across the galaxy filled the room. They represented species Jack could barely comprehend, some made of gas, others of living metal, and many more with bodies so strange he couldn't guess how they thought or felt. Impressive, isn't it? Ambassador Ryan Clark said quietly as they followed their guide, a tall blue alien with 4 arms. Some of these civilizations were exploring space when humans were still figuring out how to make fire. Dr. Samantha Kelly walked beside them, her eyes constantly moving, taking in every detail. She carried a small device that recorded everything for later analysis. And yet they can't see what's right in front of them, she whispered. The evidence is so clear. Their small Earth delegation was led to a section near the back of the hall. Jack noticed the slight insult. Earth, as one of the newest members of the galactic community, was placed far from the central speaking platform. Remember, the plan, Jack said as they took their seats. We present our case calmly and clearly. No accusations without proof. The ceremony began with music that seemed to come from everywhere at once. Jack felt it in his chest more than heard it with his ears. Then, one by one, representatives from the oldest civilizations took the central platform to speak about the historic peace. For 10,000 years, the Zrillians and Draxians have been in conflict, said a tall, wispy being that seemed made of smoke and light. Today marks the end of the longest war in galactic history. The crowd murmured in approval. Jack watched as the Zrillion High Chancellor floated to the center of the room. Its crystalline body caught the light from the three suns, sending rainbow patterns across the hall. "We come together in peace," the Chancellor said, its translator making the musical sounds into words everyone could understand. "This accord will bring prosperity to all worlds." Next came the Draxian war leader, its scaled body covered in ceremonial armor that clicked as it moved, the reptilian being raised all four of its arms. "The future begins today," it hissed through sharp teeth. "Together we will create a new era of cooperation." Jack felt his skin crawl. The intelligence reports left no doubt. These two species were planning to attack the moment the accord was signed. Yet looking around, he could see that everyone believed them. The hope in the room was almost physical. "We need to speak now," Samantha whispered urgently, "before they finish the ceremony." Ryan nodded and pressed a small button on his wrist. Device. This sent a signal to the council moderators that Earth requested to speak. A small blue light appeared on their section, but the current speaker, a representative from the Altarian Collective, continued without pause. "They're ignoring us," Jack said. Ryan tried again. Still nothing. Finally, as the Zrillion and Draxian leaders prepared to sign the document that would formalize the peace accord, Ryan stood up. "Point of order," he called, his voice cutting through the ceremonial music. "Earth requests the right to present new evidence before the signing." The music stopped abruptly. 2,000 pairs of eyes, or what passed for eyes among the various species, turned toward them. The council moderator, a tall being with silver skin, looked annoyed. "The time for discussion has passed. The signing ceremony is a formality." "This cannot wait," Ryan insisted. "It concerns the safety of every world represented here." The Zrillion Chancellor's crystal body flashed with colors that Jack recognized as anger. "The humans seek attention, nothing more. They are children among adults." This sparked laughter from many delegates. Jack felt his face grow hot, but he kept his expression neutral. This was exactly what they had expected. "Let them speak," came a quiet voice from near the front. An elderly Meridian, their skin the deep blue of the deepest oceans, had risen from their seat. "I remember when my people were new to the council. Sometimes fresh eyes see what old ones miss." The moderator seemed reluctant, but tradition demanded. "Respect for the Meridians, one of the oldest races in the galaxy." "Very well. Earth may present its concerns." Briefly. Ryan nodded thanks to the Meridian, then gestured to Samantha. She stepped forward, activated her data tablet, and connected it to the hall's projection system. "For the past 3 months, Earth's intelligence systems have been monitoring communications between Zrillion and Draxian military vessels," she began. A holographic display appeared above the center of the hall, showing signal patterns and translated text. "These communications, which we have decoded, reveal plans for a coordinated attack against Council worlds once the peace accord is signed." The hall erupted in noise. The Draxian war leader's scales darkened with rage. "Lies," it hissed. "The humans fabricate this evidence because they fear our alliance." The Zrillion Chancellor floated forward. "These signals are merely cultural exchanges. Earth's primitive translation systems have misinterpreted artistic expressions as military plans." Samantha stood her ground. "We have specifically identified coordinates for initial strikes against the Altarian, Meridian, and Procyon systems. These are not cultural exchanges." She displayed more data, showing star maps with attack vectors clearly marked. The council moderator studied the evidence with a frown. "These could be interpreted many ways, without confirmation from independent sources." "Exactly," the Zrillion Chancellor interrupted. "Earth stands alone in these wild accusations." Jack watched as heads nodded throughout the hall. Even with their evidence displayed for all to see, the council was choosing to believe the Zrillions and Draxians. Ryan tried one more approach. "We ask only that the signing be delayed for 1 standard day, while our evidence is verified by council." "Security experts," The Draxian war leader slammed a clawed hand down. Delay? When peace is within our grasp? This is an insult. The council moderator looked uncomfortable but shook its head. The council has waited 10,000 years for this peace. We will not delay based on unverified claims from our newest member. Jack caught Ryan's eye and gave a subtle nod. They had tried diplomacy. Now it was time for Plan B. Ryan touched his communication device. Captain White, you are authorized to proceed with Operation Spotlight. The Zrillian Chancellor drifted closer. What is this? More human deceptions? Not deception, Jack said, standing beside Ryan. Demonstration. The main view screens in the hall, normally showing the ceremonial proceedings, suddenly changed. Now they displayed real-time images of space around the Draxian home system. There, hidden among the asteroids, was a massive fleet of warships, hundreds of vessels armed and ready. Another screen showed similar images from the Zrillian sector. More warships, all in formation, waiting for orders. What you're seeing is live footage from Earth stealth vessels, Ryan announced to the stunned hall. This is the true purpose of today's peace accord, to lower your defenses so these fleets can strike. The Great Hall fell completely silent. The silence in the Great Hall lasted only seconds before chaos erupted. Delegates jumped to their feet, shouting questions and demands. The Zrillian Chancellor's crystalline body flashed with rapid color changes, red, purple, black, signs of extreme distress that Jack Harris recognized from his diplomatic training. These images are tricks, the Draxian war leader shouted, its scales now a deep, angry red. Earth has created false pictures to destroy our peace. The council moderator raised all four of its arms, calling for order. Silence, we must verify these claims immediately. Ambassador Ryan Clark stood calmly in the center of the storm. We anticipated your doubts. That is why we have established direct communication links with our stealth ships. You may speak with their captains directly. On the main screen, Captain Laura White's face appeared. She commanded the UES Shadow, Earth's most advanced stealth vessel. This is Captain White of the United Earth Defense Fleet, she said. We are currently observing the Draxian battle fleet from within their own asteroid belt. I confirm that these images are live and unaltered, the Draxian war leader hissed. Your ships violate our sovereign territory. This is an act of war. Another Earth officer appeared on a second screen. Captain George Miller of the UES Phantom. We are monitoring the Zrillian fleet mobilization at coordinates 227-893-445. They have loaded invasion forces and are awaiting orders. Dr. Samantha Kelly stepped forward with her data tablet. We have also decrypted the launch codes for both fleets. They were set to activate exactly 1 hour after the peace accord was signed. The Great Hall fell into an uneasy silence as the EI, council moderator, and senior representatives huddled in urgent discussion. Jack watched as species that had been bitter enemies just moments before now whispered together in shared concern. The Zrillian Chancellor floated to the center of the hall, its crystalline body now a steady, dark blue. These accusations require investigation. We propose a temporary recess. No, Jack said firmly, stepping forward. There will be no recess, no delays. The evidence is before you. Both the Zrillians and Draxians have assembled invasion fleets while talking of peace. The elderly Meridian, who had spoken in their favor earlier, approached slowly. You have shown us the fleets, Commander Harris, but warships alone do not prove intent. Many species maintain defense forces. Ryan nodded. We expected this argument. Captain White, please share the command transmissions. Laura's image was replaced by a series of coded messages. Samantha explained. These are direct orders from Zrillian High Command to their fleet captains. Our AI systems have translated them fully. The messages appeared in standard galactic text for all to read. Upon signing of accord, proceed to Phase 1 targets. Priority: Meridian Homeworld, Altarian colonies, Procyon shipyards. Resistance expected minimal due to ceremonial fleet deployments. Similar messages from Draxian commanders followed. The evidence was overwhelming. The peace accord had been a trap to catch the other species with their defenses down while their leaders attended the ceremony. The Draxian war leader suddenly lunged toward the exit, but security forces, now fully alert, blocked its path. "This is an outrage," it snarled. "The Draxian Empire does not answer to lesser species." The Zrillion Chancellor remained still, its colors now faded to a dull gray. "The human evidence appears convincing, but you do not understand the complexities of galactic politics. Sometimes stronger species must guide the younger ones." Jack stepped closer to the Chancellor. "You mean control them, conquer them? That's not guidance, that's empire." The council moderator had recovered from the initial shock and now addressed the full assembly. "In light of this evidence, the peace accord signing is suspended. The council will convene an emergency session to address these serious allegations." Ryan shook his head. "That's not enough. Both fleets are still active and could launch at any moment. They must stand down immediately." The moderator looked uncertain. "We have no authority to command their military forces." "Then Earth will act," Jack said. He turned to Ryan, who nodded and activated his communication device. "Captain White, implement Phase 2 of Operation Spotlight." On the screens, the Earth stealth ships suddenly appeared, dropping their cloaking fields. They were small compared to the massive Draxian and Zrillion warships, but they moved with precision, taking up strategic positions. "What are they doing?" the Meridian Elder asked. Samantha smiled slightly. "Changing the game." Captain White's voice came through clearly. "Attention Draxian and Zrillion fleet commanders. This is Captain Laura White of the United Earth Defense Fleet. Our vessels have deployed quantum disruptor fields around your ships. Your weapons and propulsion systems are now locked. Any attempt to activate them will trigger an automatic system overload." The Great Hall watched in stunned silence as the Earth ships, barely visible against the darkness of space, surrounded the alien fleets. Occasionally, a small flash of blue energy showed where the disruption fields were active. "Impossible," whispered the Zrillion Chancellor. "Your technology is too primitive for such measures." "Earth may be new to the stars," Jack replied, "but we've had thousands of years of practice preparing for war. We developed these technologies in secret, knowing we might face advanced threats." The council moderator approached Jack slowly. "Commander, Harris, what does Earth demand in this situation?" Ryan stepped forward. "Earth demands 3 things. First, the immediate stand-down of all Zrillion and Draxian military forces. Second, a full investigation by the Galactic Council into the planned invasion. Third, new security protocols that prevent any species from amassing attack fleets without oversight." The Draxian war leader, now restrained by security forces, hissed in anger. "You have no right." "We have every right," Samantha countered. "The right of defense, the right of survival. Rights your peace accord would have stripped from dozens of worlds." The council moderator looked around the Great Hall. The mood had shifted dramatically. Where there had been celebration and hope for peace, now there was anger and fear. But also, something else. Respect. Respect for the humans who had uncovered the plot. "The council will consider Earth's demands," the moderator announced. "In the meantime, we request that your ships maintain their positions. The Zrillion and Draxian delegates will be detained pending investigation." Jack nodded. "Agreed." As the emergency session began, representatives from smaller worlds approached the Earth delegation. Many had doubted Earth's warnings, but now they offered thanks and support. The Meridian Elder placed a blue hand on Jack's shoulder. "Your species has saved many lives today, but you have also changed the balance of power in our galaxy forever. The Council will never be the same." "Sometimes," Ryan said quietly, "a system needs to break before it can be rebuilt properly." Jack looked at the screens showing Earth's small ships effectively neutralizing 2 of the most powerful fleets in the galaxy. Humanity had revealed itself as more than just newcomers. They had shown they were a force to be reckoned with. "Captain White," Jack said into his communicator. "Well done. Maintain position and keep those fleets contained. Phase 3 begins now." On the other side of the galaxy, more Earth ships were moving into position. The game had changed, and humanity was now a major player. 3 days after the failed peace ceremony, Jack Harris stood in a new chamber on Centauri Prime. The old council hall had been abandoned after security teams discovered hidden weapon systems throughout the structure. Another part of the Zrillian-Draxian plan. This temporary meeting space was smaller but felt more honest somehow. The emergency session will now begin, announced the new council moderator, a tall Altarian named Nira. The previous moderator had resigned after admitting he had ignored early warnings about the conspiracy. Jack sat between Ryan Clark and Samantha Kelly as representatives from 24 species took their places around a circular table. There were 2 empty seats. The Zrillians and Draxians had been temporarily suspended from council activities. First item, Nira said, her voice calm but firm. The inspection team's reports on the contained fleets. A holographic display appeared above the center of the table, showing the Draxian warships still surrounded by Earth's stealth vessels. We have confirmed Earth's claims, reported a small green being with 6 eyes. The Draxian fleet carried enough invasion forces to occupy 15 major worlds. Their weapon systems were primed for immediate use. Another report followed about the Zrillian fleet, equally damning. Both species had prepared for a massive coordinated attack that would have overwhelmed most worlds' defenses. What happens to the fleets now? Asked the Meridian Elder. Ryan stood up. Earth proposes they be dismantled under council supervision. The materials can be repurposed for peaceful uses. Murmurs of agreement spread around the table. Jack noticed how differently the other species treated the Earth delegation now. 3 days ago, they had been seated at the back of the hall. Today, they held a position of honor. Nira looked directly at Jack. Commander Harris, please update us on Operation Spotlight. Jack stood and activated his datapad. Phase 2 continues, successfully. All enemy ships remain contained by our disruption fields. Their communications are limited to emergency channels only. And what is Phase 3 that we heard mentioned? Asked a reptilian delegate from a system near the galactic core. Jack exchanged glances with Ryan, who nodded slightly. Phase 3 involves securing key strategic locations against possible hidden forces. Earth ships are currently monitoring 17 additional sites where our intelligence suggested backup fleets might be stationed. The council members looked surprised. Jack continued. We had to consider all possibilities. The Zrillians and Draxians ruled space for thousands of years. They have resources we're still discovering. Which brings us to an important question, said a tall, thin being made of what looked like living metal. How did Earth, a newcomer to interstellar travel, develop technology capable of containing the most powerful fleets in the galaxy? The chamber grew quiet. Jack could feel the mix of curiosity and fear behind the question. Earth had suddenly revealed itself as far more advanced than anyone had suspected. Samantha stood up. When humans first ventured into space, we studied the histories of all council species. We noticed a pattern. Newcomers were often exploited or conquered. So while we presented ourselves as technologically humble, we secretly developed defensive systems specifically designed to counter the weapons of older species. A deception, noted the metal being. A precaution, Ryan corrected. One that saved many lives. Nira raised her hand for attention. The question now is what happens next. The council structure has stood for 12,000 years, but it clearly failed to prevent this conspiracy. Jack watched as the delegates looked at each other nervously. The galaxy's political system was collapsing around them, and no one knew what would replace it. Earth has a proposal, Ryan said. We believe the council should be reformed on 3 principles. Equal representation for all species regardless of age, transparent military limitations for all members, and a shared defense responsibility. Shared defense? Asked the Meridian Elder. Yes, Jack explained. No single species should bear the full responsibility of maintaining peace, nor should any single species have unchecked military power. We propose a joint fleet with ships and personnel from all member worlds. The debate that followed was intense. Some older species resisted surrendering their traditional autonomy, while younger ones eagerly supported Earth's ideas. Through it all, Jack observed how the near disaster had changed everyone's perspective. Fear had been replaced by determination. After hours of discussion, Nira called for a preliminary vote. The results appeared above the table, 18 and A. Favor of Earth's proposal, 6 opposed. It seems we have a direction forward, Nira announced. A committee will draft the new council charter based on Earth's principles. As the session ended, Jack stepped outside for a moment of quiet. Through a large window, he could see one of Centauri Prime's 3 suns setting, casting long shadows across the planet's famous crystal forests. Captain Laura White approached him, having just arrived from her ship. Commander, the Draxian flagship is requesting direct communication with Earth leadership. Their admiral claims to have information about hidden Zrillian bases we haven't found yet. Jack nodded. They're turning on each other already. Bring the information to the council. We do everything in the open now. Laura hesitated. Sir, some of our ships have detected unusual energy readings from the Oort cloud beyond the Zrillian home system. It might be nothing, but we can't take chances, Jack finished. Double the patrols and inform Ambassador Clark. If there's another threat out there, we'll face it together with our new allies. Inside the chamber, Ryan was surrounded by delegates asking questions about Earth's defense systems. Jack caught his eye and gave a subtle hand signal. Ryan nodded and excused himself. Something wrong? Ryan asked when they were alone. Maybe, Jack replied. Captain White detected unusual energy signatures beyond Zrillian space. Could be a hidden backup fleet, could be nothing. Ryan's expression grew serious. The Zrillians and Draxians weren't working alone, were they? I've had that feeling from the beginning, Jack admitted. Their plan was too perfect, too coordinated for 2 species that spent thousands of years fighting each other. Someone else helped design it. A third party, Samantha said, joining them with her data tablet already active. Someone who wanted to see the younger species conquered while the older ones weakened each other in the process. Jack looked back at the council chamber, where former enemies now worked together on plans for a new galactic order. Whoever they are, they've failed. The galaxy is more united now than ever before. For the moment, Ryan cautioned. But we need to stay vigilant. Earth showed strength today, but we've also made powerful enemies. Jack nodded. Prepare a secure communication to Admiral Martinez. Tell her we need to accelerate the production of our new defense systems. I have a feeling we're going to need them sooner than expected. As night fell on Centauri Prime, delegates from 24 worlds continued their work, building a new future from the ruins of a false peace. And in the darkness between the stars, Earth ships patrolled silently, watching for the next threat. 1 month after the failed peace ceremony, Commander Jack Harris stood on the observation deck of the newly commissioned GDS Unity. The massive ship was the first vessel of the Galactic Defense Fleet, crewed by members from 17 different species. As fleet commander, Jack had the honor of overseeing its maiden voyage. System check complete, Commander, reported Lieutenant Olivia Grant, who had transferred from the UES Horizon to serve as Jack's second-in-command. All stations report ready. Jack nodded, taking in the bridge around him. Unlike Earth vessels with their practical utilitarian design, the Unity blended the best technologies from across the galaxy. Its sleek control panels glowed with soft blue light, and the view screen showed space with such clarity that it felt like looking through open windows. Very good, Lieutenant. Signal Centauri Control that we're preparing to depart. Ambassador Ryan Clark entered the bridge, accompanied by Dr. Samantha Kelly and the Meridian Elder who had become one of Earth's strongest allies in the new council. Commander Harris, Ryan said with a formal nod. The council representatives are ready, in the observation lounge. They're eager to witness the Unity's first flight. Jack smiled slightly. And to see if the joint fleet concept actually works, I imagine. The Meridian Elder's deep blue face creased, and what Jack had learned was a smile. Many doubted that crew. Members from different worlds could work together efficiently. You have already proven them wrong during training exercises. Speaking of working together, Samantha said, activating her data tablet. We've finished analyzing those energy readings. From beyond Zrillian space, Jack's expression grew serious. And? It's definitely artificial and extremely powerful. We've confirmed it's some kind of massive station or installation, using technology that matches neither Zrillian nor Draxian design principles. The third party, Jack said quietly. Ryan nodded. The Council has authorized the Unity to investigate as its first mission. You'll take a diplomatic team, including representatives from the elder races. Do we have any idea who built it? Jack asked. The Meridian's color darkened slightly. There are legends, stories of a species that came before even the oldest council members. We called them the architects. They supposedly disappeared 50,000 years ago, but left behind technology so advanced it seemed like magic. Not just legends, Samantha added. During interrogation, the Zrillian Chancellor finally admitted that both their species had been contacted by representatives claiming to be these architects. They provided the advanced cloaking technology for the invasion fleets in exchange for promises of specific resources from conquered worlds. Jack looked out at the stars. So the peace accord conspiracy was just a pawn move in a much bigger game. It appears so, Ryan confirmed. But thanks to Earth's intervention, their plan failed. Now we have a chance to confront them directly. Olivia approached with a communication pad. Admiral Martinez is hailing from Earth Command, sir. Jack accepted the call, and Elena Martinez's face appeared on the small screen. Commander, congratulations on the Unity's commissioning. Thank you, Admiral. We're preparing for departure now. Good. I've sent updated mission parameters to your secure channel. The Council doesn't know this yet, but our deep space monitors have detected similar energy signatures in 7 other sectors. Whatever you're facing, it's not isolated. Jack felt a chill despite the bridge's comfortable temperature. Understood, we'll proceed with caution. After ending the call, Jack turned to Ryan and Samantha. It seems our new galactic alliance will face its first test sooner than expected. Ryan nodded grimly. History repeats itself. A more advanced civilization attempting to manipulate younger species for their own gain. But this time, the younger species are ready, Jack replied. United instead of divided. An hour later, the Unity moved away from the orbital shipyard, its massive engines glowing with a soft purple light. Inside the observation lounge, Council representatives from 24 worlds watched with a mixture of hope and concern. Critio. The bridge, Jack gave the order to activate the jump drive, a remarkable piece of technology combining Earth's quantum mechanics with Altarian space-folding principles. The stars stretched and blurred as the ship accelerated to speeds no single species had achieved before. Jump successful, Olivia reported. All systems functioning normally. Estimated arrival at the target coordinates in 14 hours. Very good. Maintain course and continue system checks. I'll be in the strategy room with the diplomatic team. In the ship's central chamber, representatives from 7 species gathered around a holographic display showing all known information about the mysterious installation. The Meridian Elder pointed to strange markings on its outer hull. These symbols match artifacts found on my homeworld dating back to before our recorded history. If these truly are the architects, they have been watching us for a very long time. Not just watching, Samantha added. Guiding our development, perhaps even limiting it. The Zrillian Chancellor confessed that certain technological advancements were subtly discouraged over the centuries. The architects wanted to ensure no single species became too powerful. And then humans arrived, said a reptilian delegate from a system near the galactic core, unpredictable and advancing faster than they anticipated. Jack studied the display carefully. So they orchestrated the peace accord conspiracy to eliminate the younger races and weaken the older ones, leaving the galaxy vulnerable. A plan, thousands of years in the making, Ryan said, until Earth disrupted it in a matter of weeks. The ship's communication system chimed. Commander Harris to the bridge. We've detected movement at the target coordinates. When Jack returned to the bridge, the main view screen showed a massive structure emerging from behind a small moon. It was unlike anything he had ever seen. A sprawling complex of gleaming metal and strange, shifting energy fields that seemed to bend space around it. We're being scanned, Olivia reported. Multiple frequencies extremely powerful. Raise shields but take no aggressive action, Jack ordered. Open a communication channel on all frequencies. The view screen flickered and a figure appeared. It appeared humanoid but with features that seemed to shift and change, making it impossible to determine its exact appearance. We have been watching, Your approach, creatures of unity, it said in a voice that somehow resonated in multiple languages simultaneously. You have disrupted patterns maintained for 50 millennia. Explain yourselves. Jack stepped forward. I am Commander Jack Harris of Earth, representing the Galactic Council. We know about your manipulation of the Zrillians and Draxians. We know about your plan to keep our species divided and controlled. The figure's form rippled. Control brings order. Division prevents challenges to our guidance. For 50,000 years, we have shepherded the younger races, preventing the chaos of unchecked advancement. You mean preventing us from becoming your equals? Jack replied. That ends today. The peoples of this galaxy have chosen unity over division, cooperation over conflict, a temporary alliance born of fear. The figure dismissed. It will not last. Ryan joined Jack at the view screen. Perhaps not. But we will face that challenge ourselves, without your interference. The age of manipulation is over. The figure seemed to study them for a long moment. You cannot comprehend the dangers that exist beyond your limited perception. Our guidance has protected you from threats you cannot imagine. Then help us understand as partners, Jack suggested. Not as puppets. The new council offers membership to all species willing to abide by principles of equality and transparency. The figure's form became momentarily solid, revealing a being of startling beauty and age. 50,000 years of careful planning, undone by the most recent children of the stars. Perhaps it is time for a new approach. As the Unity maintained position near the massive installation, representatives from across the galaxy prepared to meet with creators of a civilization older than their recorded histories. Whatever the outcome, one thing was certain. The Galactic Council would never be the same. And it had all started because Earth refused to accept a false peace.